You mean you need to invite her into the room
Yeah.
to interview us?
Hey, Anna, we're ready for you. I hope you're ready.
I'm just finishing my soup.
Well,
right.
finish it. Finishing her.
Congratulations on your 30th year anniversary.
You're welcome.
It's incredible how you've managed to sustain a friendship and a band over such a long period, even with its ups and downs.
Yeah.
Your story is certainly fascinating, and it offers a lot to explore in a podcast interview.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
Here are some interview questions tailored to your journey.
Oh,
That's a weird
wonderful.
part to include in there,
Yeah.
but you could just... So,
You could edit that part out later.
Early years.
okay.
Okay.
How did it feel recording your first song, Touch My? What were the initial reactions?
Well, I
Touch
see, Anna,
my-
she censored herself because...
Oh, she couldn't say penis?
I guess not.
Wow. Penis is not a bad word.
It's not, but I think Anna is 4.
Oh.
She just may not know that word yet.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So...
How did it
How
feel
did
recording
it
that?
feel? Well, I remember it hurt. It's one of my clearest memories ever is when we were upstairs in your living room or lounge.
Playroom or whatever you call it.
And we had done the noise.
Yeah.
And then we were like, okay, vocal time. And I remember just pausing, looking at the microphone going, ah. And and this is what set the trajectory of the band. Like I could have I could try to sing a word, but I just went for the most horrific scream I could do. And
it's kind of funny because I don't think we discussed vocals or anything before that. We just kind of like, oh, we're going to make an album. And we picked up our instruments like, okay, we just played a bunch of noise because neither of us really knew how to play. But I distinctly remember being ecstatic. Like, oh my gosh, I'm recording an album.
Yeah.
So proud of that. I just followed your lead and there you go. Our band was created right there. We had no real direction.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just were staring at the super mic going,
and why did we come up with that name? Oh, I think we called it that because at some point I said, touch my penis.
Yeah.
It was like the only thing that wasn't screamed in the song.
Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah.
Kind of pulling a little Beavis and Butthead type thing.
Yeah. What you got, Anna?
Can you recount some memorable moments of handing out those first cassette tapes?
Oh. Your school.
Yeah, we gave one to
Cole.
Actually, it was Ross Sewage.
Ross Ross.
Yeah, he's the one that got it.
Oh, he
shared it with them. He strangely loved it in its own way. So much so, like, he did share it with people, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know who else got it. I do remember, as you said, Ross.
There was two, right? Or 3? I can't remember
2 or 3, yeah.
I only remember handing one out. But then again, I don't remember a lot from when I was 13.
I think we tried to give it to people and they said no.
Yeah.
A jock or something. It's like, I don't want that. Oh,
yeah.
Right. But no, that's cool. It ended up in Ross's hands.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do remember that awkwardness because that's that time when I was walking around with the guitar and that little amp he gave me for Christmas or my birthday, and yeah, it was like a school concert, but yet we were just kind of trying to walk around, make noise, be stupid, and try to get someone to take that album.
Yeah. But we did.
Yeah. I should.
Yeah.
That was a pretty damn good question, Anna. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Given your DIY approach to music production, what role did the hacked Casio radio play in shaping your early sound?
Oh yeah. Well, it had a lot because you could infinitely record multiple tracks on it.
and also weird. The microphone was this really just cruddy Radio Shack mic. Probably for the 40s or something. It's never meant for anything we put it through. So you definitely have that insane, raw, like overdriven, everything is distorted just because the Casio and that microphone just in combination.
You could have played like a $10,000 Martin acoustic guitar and we could have sang operatic style.
Yeah.
And it would have sounded exactly the same as what we
the same
put out. Yeah.
Yeah.
How has your friendship influenced the band and vice versa?
Our friendship influenced the band because the band exists because we had friends. Or we were friends because we both had equipment and both were into the same dumb stuff.
Yeah.
So,
we were always on the creative end of things, like making movies and then we got into music and this and that, and it really was just a way that you and I were very, very similar in many, many ways. I mean, we were definitely unique personalities, but very similar in our humor and all that, and that the band kind of gave us an outlet for that.
And I think the vice versa is the reason we're doing any of this right now is really the band kind of brought us back together. We more or less reunited at my wedding, which was 2007. We kind of like would occasionally see each other, but when I moved away, when I went to university, like when we turned 18 and graduated high school, we kind of split off because that's what happens. Like, you started working and I went into school and all of a sudden I'm in a whole different world, different friends, different everything, finding my place. And after a couple years, I moved across the country. I just disappeared. And that was like the year you got married. So I couldn't even go to your wedding. And
exactly.
I think at the time, because I'm a petty individual, I was saying there was bad blood, but I don't think there was bad blood. I think it was just the distance separated us, and that was that.
Yeah.
But vice versa, the band definitely brought us back together, so, our friendship made the band, and the band reunited our friendship. So
exactly.
So there you go. It's all pretty cool. Yeah, it's a good question. Thanks, Anna. That's good. Don't do a stupid thing.
You've described your band as our special thing. How did that exclusivity shape your music?
Good question, Anna.
Well, we used to get naked, and then we'd, go in a small closet with each other in the 4-track recorder, and try to use our instruments, and things might get a little. No, okay.
Well, you said it in the last podcast, which will probably air after this one, but it's you make music for you.
Yeah.
And as do I. Like if we knew how to make music for other people, we'd probably not have day jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't. I was soldering and I burnt myself on the soldering iron frantically before this podcast to pull off a dumb joke. That's the lengths I'll go through.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the exclusivity of our band. Like, our website is the most butt website you could imagine it to be.
Yeah.
Like, it's the art style. It's
website.
Like, the fact that no one listens to us kind of empowers us to make sure we just keep doing whatever it is we want to do.
Exactly. No, I'm in music to entertain myself.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to...
honestly...
I enjoy making music. It's very... Like, no matter what it is. Like, I just love playing music.
Yeah.
And I'm not that good, and that's fine. If I like it, I'm happy. If someone else likes it, I'm sorry.
What have been the most challenging aspects of your friendship and collaboration over the years?
Distance.
Definitely distance.
Yep. Either self-imposed or physical.
I do have to say, we churned out what I feel like is one of our best albums.
Oh, absolutely.
From a distance. Like from, not the song, but
yeah,
being at a distance.
It was fun because we learned that we could work in a different way.
Yeah.
We could work in the way every other band on the planet works. But for us, we're just so used to the in the room thing.
Spontaneity.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Creativity and process. Paper cut marks the first time Marc played a melody. How did that affect the band's dynamic?
Well, I'm really glad you asked that question. So I was told to play something, and being that I'd played bass for like 2 days or 3 days, that's the first thing that came out, and it was kind of fun. It sounded like a song, so that made me really feel like we could do something as a band, play some music. That song carried on. I think we still recorded it on a couple albums over the last 10, 15 years. I've played that song with other bands too. So very simple and basic, but the process was ready, set, go, and that's what came out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Here's a very specific question, but I like how she dug deep. She did her research, and I appreciate this.
Nice. Yeah.
What you got, Anna?
Tell us about the importance of the PV Predator in your music-making journey.
So important. My parents did not want me to learn guitar. They had been putting me through piano lessons for years.
Yeah.
And I wanted to learn guitar. And so they were like really not into buying me any type of guitar equipment or anything like that. And I remember going to buy a guitar and then thinking I wanted a Fender, and I couldn't afford a Fender. But it's like, well, we have these PV Predators, they're just kind of cheap versions of Fenders and blah, blah. So I'm like, oh, cool.
Actually, they're American made, and they're very, very good guitars.
But at the time, they're just like, oh, yeah, there's some knockoff, So I'm like, oh, well, hell, I could afford it. And now they're one of the more sought after guitars. It's a solid piece of wood body. Rude, little child.
How does the songwriting process work between you both?
Oh, well, we're kind of talking about that. It's slightly different, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It used to be just like ready, set, go.
Yeah. Just hit record and go. Which,
in a nutshell, now it's like I send you a part, you send me a part. You might take the whole song somewhere, I might take it somewhere else, and then eventually we're like, okay, that sounds like a song.
Yeah, done. Wrap it up. I was listening. What's that guy? Rick Rubin.
Yeah.
The like shaman of music, and he made some. Gosh, I'm gonna totally misquote the dude here, but basically his approach, because he's totally hands off. He just lets the artist, whatever, all this hippie shit. Yeah. And it's like, he's like, as long as you know as an artist you couldn't get any more out of it, then it's done. Yeah. And that's probably how, great artists really challenge themselves and push themselves and do all this.
Yeah.
But I have so much other shit I need to do. So I got to call done earlier. Yeah. That's, I just, which is probably why we don't have, we're not super famous, but like really like if I went by his logic, I would never finish a fucking song.
Yeah.
Because you're never happy with it.
Yeah.
And then the first thing we got to do when we're with Steve is just put a bow, because I want to redo the vocals on Farts. Let's just put a bow on that. Let me get that out off my chest, because I just didn't like that first recording.
What's a bow?
Oh,
like you mean like put a bow in it so it's done.
It's
done.
done.
Gotcha. Okay.
Get it some stringed instruments in there, a cello player. But I just want that one done because I could release it.
Yeah.
Can you share the story of your 20-second live performance?
I'll let you know when we get there.
20-second live performance. No, that's
she said 20-second. Oh, I thought she said 20-second.
No, yeah, our 20-second live performance. That was
okay. Us when we got booed off the stage,
begging and pleading, because I didn't even go to your school to be in the talent show.
See, I don't have very much memory of that at all.
Yeah, so there was a talent show at your high school.
What did we play?
We had T-shirts. We had our own band T-shirts on. We had our white T-shirts. Yeah, the white butt shirts. Yeah. I do remember we were wearing those, and it was just one of those things. Yeah. So we must have been at that 16-year-old, because your school did a lot of events. But yeah, they had this talent show, and some other guy went up who was quite talented. He did like Puff the Magic Dragon and like on guitar.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we got to follow that. So you and I were discussing. Okay, they finally said we could go on, and we're like, what should we do? What should we do? What should we do? And we're like, I'm like, should we play one of our songs? And we didn't. So we went up and we said, all right, we're gonna play Polly by Nirvana backwards.
Oh, okay. That's right. Now I remember.
Right? And then we just said 1, 2, 3, and then we turned around and started playing, and then we got booed on, and we got kicked off the stage.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Turned around.
So dumb. So that was our 20-second live performance. It took longer than 20 seconds to describe our 20-second live performance, but yes,
yeah, exactly.
We played Polly by Nirvana backwards.
Yeah. There we go.
Let's see here. All right.
What do you remember most from the Pinnacle Summer of '94?
The Pinnacle Summer of '94.
That's a fucking song.
I remember going out.
I remember everything. Yeah. I remember so much from that summer. I remember Eric sleeping in the car, and that the Beast's mom calling my mom and me getting in all that trouble. I remember going to the abandoned houses. I remember you with the
finding all the drugs
slew
on the floor, like the
girlfriends and breaking up with girlfriends. I remember me being terrible to one girl while making out with another girl. Just all types of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about your experience guest DJing on the high school radio show. Any favorite tracks from that era?
Yeah, DJing on the radio show. That was with the Beast. Yeah. We mainly just went in there and played Nirvana.
Yeah.
I think we ignored
we played some of our tracks.
Yeah, we did. We would slip some of our tracks in there. And I remember
she got in a lot of trouble for that, didn't she?
Oh, there was a time I was in there. Yeah, when we were rolling on the ground a bit, and the teacher came in, and he was not impressed because I did not.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I didn't even go to that fucking school.
You didn't even go there. That's right.
Neither did you. No, we got her in so much trouble.
I did go to that school for one day.
Did you? Oh, why?
Because we had. So
I'm surprised you didn't go to that school because it was across the street from your house.
I know, but it ended up being really cool because it was
just a melting pot.
Everyone was friends with everybody. The jocks would hang out with the cheerleaders, would hang out with the nerds.
The jocks always hung out with the cheerleaders.
I know, but then the cheerleaders would hang out.
The jocks would hang out with the cheerleaders, and that was the end of it. The nerds sat by themselves.
I had a party at my house.
I wasn't invited.
Yeah, I guess you weren't.
The quiet years and comeback. Can you dive into the quiet years and what led to the 2-decade rift?
Chicks, distance,
opposing bands of the same name.
Yeah, I think just growing up, really.
Yeah.
Because we split off around 17, 18. Like 17, 18, we weren't talking nearly as much. We'd always see each other because there's so many family events, but I went to uni, you got straight into the job market, and the rift wasn't there, but it was just we were in different circles at that time. I was, as I mentioned earlier, just you're a new kid in a new school, and it wasn't until I think my second year.
Well, we stopped talking before that.
Yeah, around junior year.
I remember a very specific time and why, and it came down to me being stupid, which was, again, I was always jealous of you having the long-term girlfriend and all that sort of stuff.
She's gross.
You were with her still.
Oh, yeah.
And we went bowling, and she couldn't make it, or you couldn't make it or something, and so she brought my wife.
Yeah.
And we started dating, and somehow you guys were saying some stuff, but I felt threatened, like you were trying to break us up, and I didn't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
I love you, man.
How did reuniting feel, both personally and musically?
Well, personally, I got a boner.
Yeah. Personally, it was
fun. Wait,
what? Music. The first reunion was really just, let's just do a one-off. Right? Let's just do this. I don't even think I love. What did we call that album? But Revisited or
Revisited.
Yeah, Revisited, and it was like the self-titled album. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Amazing, an amazing session. So fun just to go in, and I think we just put everything aside. Like, we didn't bring anything into we didn't even do that, like, let's bury the hatchet and all that. We'll just like, no, we'll bury that shit deep in us and not mention it.
And we'll deeper. We'll just put it all out in our music.
And we'll just go on, and you can hear us bitch and moan.
Honestly,
a little
dude,
bit.
I was like so excited to get to reunite and play as a band again. I so looked forward to that. I so wanted that. For so many years.
It was,
and it's like it finally happened, and that was just like freaking amazing.
Yeah, it was.
So,
and it wasn't until after I was married and after I moved away that I started to calm down a bit. But I really loved that session. But I really think the reunion was probably the session after that, when we kind of went back to Steve's, because it was like the second time. So that was like, it's not a one-off, it's, you could get everyone back together for a house party, but it's showing up the next day kind of thing that makes it a real reunion. And that's what I kind of felt like. But yeah, musically, we hadn't matured. And personally, we hadn't matured. But I don't think either of us really knew what to expect, because we went in with no plan.
It was like the first time playing together, like hitting record. In a sense. It was like a revisiting of that. Hence the name, right?
And it really was like
set up. No, just hit record.
It was just straight up, just a mic drop, and So that's cool. That's probably
you remember
the most
though when
natural
we
album.
went in there, Adam was the guy's name, and we went in there. We talked about this before. We went in there like we were this. We've been playing together for 20 years, and we were these expert musicians, and totally set it up, just talking the talk and doing the thing. And he hits record, and he's just like, "Oh my gosh!"
It's like, so you're going that way? Okay. It's like he's just like backed off. Yeah, it.
Still Here I Think Thought was a major turning point for the band. Can you elaborate on its significance?
Did we answer that? Maybe in a roundabout.
No.
Not specifically. Still Here I Think. Oh, that was a big one. That's kind of the one we were just talking about, where Jordan came in and we had I had moved away.
I renamed it Father's Angst.
Father's Angst. And then
I like how we name our own albums.
Yeah.
They're the same album, we just have different names.
I call it So Here I Think because stupid acronym.
Yeah.
But
oh my gosh, I never put that together.
Seriously?
Never. Dude.
That's the whole point. It's there.
Shit. I never put that together.
What?
This is like revelation for me. That was what, 13 years ago?
God.
14 years ago.
That's like one of my oldest jokes.
I listen to that all the time.
Yeah. Which is why I went with, Still Here, I think.
Okay. There you go. You went for the long joke and you won. The long game.
Oh, God, did I over-explain it to the audience? Yeah. I can't believe you didn't get that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just Still Here, I think.
Yeah. Still Here, I think. Yeah. That's why every first letter is capitalized.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I did not get it.
The why that's a major turning point for the band was not only we went in there with some ideas, because we usually just kind of do like a rough sketch and then we refine them, and this was really refinement. And
we went out to eat before.
Yeah,
and
we did,
about it.
And we recorded it, and we took some. Our number one song still to this day is "Poop on the Potty," which was written by my wife. Yeah. And yeah, and that was recorded for the first time here. A lot of the other things were carryovers, but I had just had my kids, so that was now we added that song in the rapport. But yeah, and then you took Still Here I Thought was the original album. That was the one I walked away with when I went home. Was just like, it was done because Steve edits as we go. And then you did Think, which was you brought in other people, you redid a bunch of vocals, you remixed it and all this. And that's kind of the official album. And Thought is kind of the fun. I like listening to them back to back because it kind of, and lots of bands do that now. They'll release the 30th anniversary and they'll have the rough takes of it. So you can hear the song before it was the song.
I only brought Daryl to do a solo over one song, the Goddess of the Sea.
Yeah, great song.
I had him do a noise solo. But other than that, it was me.
Yeah, you went in,
I went in and did some guitars.
And tightened it all up. And
cleaned up some drum stuff.
And I remember my first listening, I'm like, what the fuck did he do? I'm like, did he... I'm like, am I even on this album anymore?
Too?
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But, no, and that's, once again, that pettiness. But in the end, it's by far the strongest album we have. It's...
See, and so this goes back to what we were talking about before. This music is like, I do it for me, you do it for you, right? We had a perfectly good album. Everything's great. I was like, I want to, I'm buddies with Steve. I can go in there and mess around. I'm just going to have some fun with it. See if Mike likes it.
And
There you go.
If
and you could have your version, I could have mine. You'd release yours, whatever.
If I had the ability and or the resources, I would do the same thing. It's hard for me to release things because I'm an infinite editor. But like, I'm learning more about music now, and I think I'm somewhat confident. But at the time, I wasn't. So like you having research. But if I knew a buddy with a studio of, like my buddy Alex, who let me in once and never let me in ever again because I wanted to practice. But if you have somebody that's like, yeah, man, come in and bring your, I would be there every freaking night if I could. Like, drop the wife and kids and just be like, go back to America. I'm going to hang out in my buddy's studio.
Yeah.
I even built a studio, but I realized, it really helps if you know how to do music.
What challenges and opportunities did the pandemic bring to your music making?
The pandemic didn't do much. The only thing it did is delayed my visit next week or in 2 weeks. Because usually we would come every other year. That's it.
But we ended up doing an album remotely, so that kind of made up for that.
So really, the only thing is
it put off our tour.
Yeah, put off our tour.
Our 30 city tour, but
it really didn't do much. The pandemic didn't affect us that much.
No.
Now that you've owned it, has the reception of your music changed among people you know?
No.
I think when people really like when I talk to people, love the story of our band more than our band.
Yes.
Like I was, when I got a guy to follow me on Twitter last week, I was telling him about the podcast and this, and like people are blown away the fact that I have a podcast and the fact that I've been in a band for 30 years. But when it actually comes to listening to the music, that's when it ends. So it's kind of, they like to hear about everything but the music. So it hasn't changed it, but it just makes us, I always throw the disclaimer, like, check it out. It helps now that we have, No, That Was Tony. It's really easy to show people that, because even if you don't like the song, you could giggle at the sock puppets. For us.
Tell us about some of your fun facts, like the nacho eating song or your one sold CD.
Well,
you got the one sold CD.
I
don't know anything about that.
So when I first wanted to list our music, I wanted to get it out there, right? This is before digital streaming. So I found a CD distributor that would allow me to send them CDs, but they had to be shrink wrapped. I had to get ISBN numbers. Like it's hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get the shit up. But anyways, I printed copies of But the Stuff Volume 1, and I made a new artwork. I had to tweak out one or two of the songs. I tried to quote unquote master them, as in just pump up the volume. One of them was kind of like maybe copyright infringement, so let me tweak it a bit, type thing. But anyways, I sent it off, and I think I had 10 made, 10 physical copies. I own the last physical copy, still sealed.
Okay,
I have a sealed copy. Did I give you one? Okay, no. So you don't even own one of these. So I own one sealed. I have a friend who's a massive vinyl and album collector. He has thousands, tens of thousands of albums. And I offered him this one, and he said no.
Yeah.
And not because he didn't want it. He's like, because as a collector, he knows how rare that one is. He's like, you keep it. I'm like, all right, fair enough. So,
good.
So I have it.
Good.
But so we sold one copy, but what happened was the distributor's like, and then a couple of years later, streaming came in. So then we were able to stream it. So then I'm like, cool, now so we didn't need the physical anymore. So all the other albums, I just go pure streaming. I don't need copies. But they're like, well, we have this excess inventory, do you want it back? And I think I was living overseas. I'm like, no. So they destroyed them.
Oh.
into the wood chipper. Yep. So
at least you have one.
I have one. I have one copy of our official printed album. And we sold one. So there is a copy. Apparently, if you go on whatever those record sites, there's one person that has a copy that's trying to sell it and no one's buying it. There you go. So whoever you are, you're in for a treat. Got.
What are your future plans for the band, especially now that walking away isn't an option?
Walking away isn't an option.
Yeah, well,
because we're already far apart.
Yeah. I just want to do it.
You know, I
want to do it more.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I just want to have fun. That's my future plan.
Let me rephrase, when you are able to come here.
Yeah. We got to play a show.
That's it. That's what I was going to do. Yeah. Like we would.
Yeah.
I'd find somewhere that would let us play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The funny thing is we'd probably fit into the scene just fine. It's such a quirky, weird scene, but
yeah,
that's what we would do. So I would like to see that happen before my 50th birthday.
I have some final thoughts. I think you guys are very talented, and this was a complete waste of my time.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Thank you, Anna.